Business Leadership South Africa has joined the chorus for the lifting of the bans on the sale of alcohol and cigarettes. The bans were put in place to help minimize the burden on health facilities during the COVID-19 pandemic. Let's talk more about this with the Director of Policy and Legislation at Business Leadership SA, Tebele Luthuli. Thank you very much for joining us. So when calculating the cost of the ongoing ban on the sale of tobacco products and alcohol, one cannot only look at the sum of losses made by legitimate businesses within those two sectors and sin taxes. It's also very important to look at the cost of bringing in check illicit trade once that ban is lifted. How much will it cost government to reverse the huge gains made by illicit trade over the past 4 months?
Good evening, Andy. Thank you for having me. So, as to how much it will cost the government to reverse the illicit trade that is now being further entrenched, one can only guess at the amount. I mean, illicit trade in the cigarette and tobacco industry was a huge problem that we were struggling with before the bans and lockdown, and it's now even being compounded by the bans during lockdown. So it is going to cost a significant amount of money and police effort to reverse what has now been an entrenched black market.
The government will also have to factor in significant job losses when calculating the cost of this ban. We've just seen Pick n Pay, which seemingly is not directly related to those two industries, saying that both those bans have contributed to financial losses on their side.
That's right. So as you said earlier, there's Pick n Pay and there's investments that now both Council and SAB are stopping and for the next year reviewing as well. So those investments would have led to further growth and further job opportunities. So it's quite distressing that when we already have such a high level of unemployment, we are failing to maintain the jobs that we do currently have.
You've said in a recent report that there's no current pressure on hospitals in terms of beds available for treating COVID-19 patients, and for that reason the ban should be lifted. But surely lifting the ban now will increase pressure on hospitals at a time when we're registering almost 9,000 new cases a day.
Look, the government needs to be a bit more nimble and flexible when it comes to these bans, and also to be more collaborative with the industry. I mean, a a ban with immediate effect just wasn't helpful. And I truly believe that when you consult the relevant industries, you can find smart solutions as to dealing with the issues. There have been various suggestions lobbied around, whether it's by the alcohol industry itself or by the recent results of the South African Medical Research Council research survey, and how they've proposed that we could reduce the impact of alcohol on hospitals.
So given those recent announcements by SAB that we were mentioning earlier, of a cut in as much as 5 billion rand in investments and planned expenditure, alongside pressure from numerous groups, not only business but society. I know the restaurant trade has been putting a lot of pressure on government as well. Do you think government is likely to buckle under that pressure anytime soon?
Well, again, we hope that they take it seriously and they do listen. So other than the lost investment, there's quite a lot of significant taxes that aren't being recouped, and SARS is going to under-recoup by a significant amount by the end of the year. And this is money that the government needs, whether it is whether it could be used to put together initiatives to support small businesses or to combat unemployment. It's money that could be used and is necessary. So we can only hope that they listen.
Are you having significant engagements with government on an ongoing basis?
Yes, we are. So there are continuing engagements with government on the issue, taking place via NEDLAC, where some of our representatives sit, including representatives of the sector, and we are hopeful that we will come towards a conclusion and solution that works for everybody quite soon.
Well, thank you very much for your time. Tebele Luthuli from Business Leadership SA.